Hello, people of the internet. My name is Rebecca Valera, and today I am here with my good friend, Katie Day.
What's going on? I am in the great city of Houston, Texas. I've been in real estate for, it feels like forever. I've been in real estate for, I guess, 5 years now. Lived in Houston now for almost 10 years. So I'm excited to kind of dig in today. So as far as different areas of town, Houston, similar to Dallas, has like a lot of highways, right? So, Houston's highways, you've got like downtown, which is inside of the center core of the city. And then we've got the 610 loop, we've got Beltway 8, and then we've got 99. So those are kind of the three major highways in the Houston area. Dallas is a little similar as far as having, kind of the different highways and then kind of suburbs. We are the fourth largest city in America.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Like Dallas County as a whole engulfs a lot of, in the county, like 2.6 million people. So you almost double. Fort Worth is its own like beast, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's huge, just like Dallas is. I would say that Fort Worth has more of a country vibe to it than Dallas. Dallas has more of that hip, inner city kind of vibe to it. And then when you go to Fort Worth, you have the stockyards, which are there. So there's a lot of agricultural, popular venues over there. A lot of two-stepping goes on over there.
You've got TCU out there too. So, you've got a lot of
over there. We've got the University of Dallas, which is in the heart of Dallas, along with SMU. They're closer to in the downtown area, and then closer to Denton, which is kind of north in between Dallas and Fort Worth. You've got Texas Women's University and University of North Texas, both there, and those are some of the major universities around. What about Houston?
We've got in town really the majority of schools. So we've got University of Houston downtown. We have Texas Southern University, we have Rice, and we have St. Thomas. So all of those are in basically like Houston proper, city of Houston. But yeah, and then as kind of as far as the suburbs go, as you go south, you have Pearland, you have stuff like that. Going out west, you have Katy and Sugarland. Up north, Cypress, the Woodlands, Spring. Kind of as you said with Fort Worth, they're all kind of starting to become like their own little cities. So it's definitely interesting to see. Some of the higher ranked school districts, in the Houston area would definitely be the Katy ISD, the Conroe ISD has some really good schools, Cy-Fair ISD, Fort Bend has some as well. But again, there are kind of hit or miss schools within those districts. So that's where going to greatschools.org and putting in the addresses and seeing like, hey, is this a 7 or a 10? Is this a 4 or an 8? Kind of where they rank is helpful to then say, okay, these are the schools that I want to be in and build from there. Because it's difficult to just go off of a specific school district here. Like it's not really, and I don't know if that's the way it is up there, but
I would say yes and no. I would say the school district is more of an indicator here, unless you are looking in the heart of Dallas where you have more of your niche schools. Because and Garland ISD is kind of the same way too. I used to teach in Garland, and I understand being a former teacher that, you can't just look at the school ratings and have that be like the only thing that you look at, which is why Katie and I are trying to give you guys multiple resources like greatschools.org, niche.com. She's got one for another website for Houston. And then I know the TEA also has their own website. The TEA stands for Texas Education Agency, and they have oodles of information about the schools in the areas that you're trying to look for. Now I want to kind of pull up the niche.com. All right, so this is best. So as a district, so we've got Eanes, which that's close to Austin. We don't care about Austin right now.
Keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling. All right, so number 2 is Carroll Independent School District, and that's in Southlake, which is right in between Dallas and Fort Worth. Highland Park's number 4, and that's in the heart of Dallas. Lovejoy is in, it says Allen, but it's a mixture of Allen, Lucas, McKinney. Like it has a meld of different cities that are zoned to that one. Capel ISD, another top school district. People always talk about Frisco schools, and they're ranked number 7 for a reason. And then Grapevine Colleyville is also kind of that an in-between city between Dallas and Fort Worth. Allen ISD is just to my south, and they're ranked number 9. So I'm just kind of looking at the
Friendswood, that's us.
That's you. Okay. All right. So there's Houston, number 10. So as you were kind of saying, in Houston, it's different. So that makes a whole lot of sense that we can't just write off a district. We have to look at the schools within the district as well to see what their rankings are. So that's a very valid point. I'll give you kudos for that.
Yeah, well, and it's tough too, because that's like similar to what kind of we just did. You know, someone will Google it and see that like Friendswood has a good school district, and they're like, well, this is where I want to live, but I want to be near these things and near my job and near, you know, all this. So I think, especially for families moving to a new city, it's definitely a balancing act of like, you know, being close to work or close to transportation, and then like the schools as well. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to try to balance all of that. You know, I think that affordability is definitely something that has been being compressed a little bit as far as how much affordable housing is out there. You know, prices, especially this year, we've seen you know, very high buyer demand in the market. So prices have, you know, kind of also gone up, you know, just general supply and demand. So, you know, one thing that I actually just ran is that we saw that we have about 30 to 35% less inventory now in the market than we did at this time last year. So normally we have a lot more inventory on the market. So right now what we're seeing in Houston is the median sales price is up to like $265, which is up about 8.3% over last year. So, you know, we're kind of continuing to see prices increase, which is making it very difficult. And I'm sure it's the same in Dallas for like first-time home buyers, anyone looking under 250. And if you're looking under 200, it's tough out there for a buyer. So it's definitely something that when we're working with buyers, like if they're like, hey, we want to think about it, or, you know, we're going to sleep on it, you're like, there's no time to sleep. You know, you've got to like put the offer in now, you know, and see what happens. You know, so I mean, I think that's something that we're kind of seeing nationwide right now. And even with new construction as well, we've seen builders start to limit the amount of homes that they're selling, which normally it's like kind of a counterintuitive thing. It's like, normally it's like, hey, let's sell. They don't have enough, you know, manpower and materials and, you know, things to build more homes. So like we're selling 2 this month and 4 next month. And like, we're like, okay, so can we get on the waiting list? And it's like, no, you can't. But like on the first, whoever the first 4 people come and bring us a $5,000 deposit, they get the house. So I'm like, it's very interesting. It's been a weird year in real estate for sure.
What would you say is your median price there in Houston? And I know that's a little subjective too, because of what's going on in the housing market right now. But if someone were to, you know, what is we'll just start with median price, and then we already know that it could go up obviously from there just because of what we're experiencing. But
yeah, I mean, it always obviously varies depending on what's selling, right? So as there's fewer homes that are in that lower price point that are available, so people can't buy them, obviously it's going to continue to, you know, kind of vary. Normally it's around 250. Last month it was 265 was the median sales price. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it normally hovers anywhere between like 240, 250, 260-ish. But again, last month it was 265.
Wow. Yeah, and I would say, so here it's a little bit similar as well. So as of, let's see, so for the city of Dallas, the median price was about $251, and that was as of September 2020. And the market ebbs and flows. So like summer is like the median price is probably a little bit higher because there's such an influx, but we still haven't seen a slowdown. I don't know if you've seen a slowdown. We haven't really slowed down. When we were in that slump of the housing market, it was like a rubber band that was stretching. And then as soon as it was let go, it was like, I mean, I had a listing and it was, you know, multiple offers and here and multiple offers there. Now, has that slowed down a little bit here in Dallas? Yes, it has. And if you are in a multiple offer situation, it's not going to be like tens of $20s of $1,000 over the price. As a, you know, in Austin, I'm sure they're seeing a lot of that because Austin is just like the hot spot here in Texas. But as far as Dallas goes, if you offered maybe like $5,000 over you know, what you're asking for, you get it. And $5,000 wrapped into your loan is really, you know, pennies a month. You know, it's not that much a month that you're adding to your monthly payment.
No, yeah, I mean, we're seeing that as well. You know, and I think that just as kind of like advice or whatever, if you're, you know, looking for a home right now in Texas, or really in general, things are pretty busy in most markets. You know, I think that, you know, we always try, if we're working with a buyer and we know it's a multiple offer situation, to try to understand exactly what the seller is looking for, because it's not always price, right? Like they may be moving to another home, so they need an extra week in the house. They may be, you know, I don't know what else, right? But there's definitely other ways.
Play a big role, yeah. Thoughts from you, Katie? What do you think that Dallas? Do you think Dallas won or Houston? I don't know.
I mean, I'm always going to choose Houston over Dallas, but I know people move to both cities, so you know.
My hair can't handle Houston. I can't handle my hair is too. It'll just get larger if I move to Houston.
I appreciate the comment, but you know, I mean, it is a Dallas channel, so that's just throwing it out there, just letting everyone know.
On a Dallas channel, that's true. So there's a little bit of bias there. I can see that. So next time you need to have me on your channel, and then we'll see. We'll see
who wins.
Go there, yeah. If you enjoyed this clip from my show that I do every Thursday, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And for the full episode, please consider watching it right here. And for something totally amazing, you want to click this one right over here. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.